Next, let's talk about domain. A domain is a boundary of a group of numbers. To construct the domain, we can use construct domain component, and this requires two numbers to construct domain. So for example, I can use from 0 to 1 as domain. That gives us a domain from 0 to 1. And also I can do any other numbers. For example, I can do -5 to 5. That would create a domain from -5 to 5. Another way to create a domain very quickly is to just type in the domain you want in a text. For example, -10 to 10. And this would create a domain from -10 to 10. So to understand the domain better, we can use a group of values to further investigate. If I create a series and I have a group of numbers here, and if I would like to know the domain of this group of number, I can use bounds battery. So this tells me what is the bounds or the domain of these numbers. So which is 0 to 9. I can deconstruct the domain using the deconstruct domain component. This will give us two outputs. S means the start of the domain. E is the end of domain. So S will be the smaller of the numbers. E will be the larger of the numbers. So I can deconstruct this domain. So that gives us the start from -10 to end of +10. Sometimes we need to remap a domain depending on the situation. So for example, we can remap a domain using the remap component. I have a list of numbers from 0 to 9 here. If I would like to remap these values to 0 to 1, I can remap these values using the remap component. And the source domain would be whatever this bound is. And the target domain, I would like to remap them to 0 to 1. So I can create a new domain from 0 to 1. Now, the new values would be from 0 to 1, a total of 10 values with equal interval. So the original values are from 0 to 9. I just remapped all these numbers from 0 to 9 to 0 to 1. And this can be useful in later examples. Sometimes we might need to clamp a list of values, or sometimes called a clip, to remove certain values that's below or above a limit. To do that, we can use the clamp battery. So for example, if I have a list of numbers, let's artificially use -5 to all the way to, let's say I have 20 numbers. Then this series will give me value from -5, -4, and all the way to 14. If assuming that I would like to process this list of number in a way that any number below 0, I'll use 0. If any number above 10, I'll use 10. And what I can do is plug in this list of value into clamp and use a domain from 0 to 10 to clamp it. So if you look at the new list of values, so -5 would turn into 0, -4, same thing, and all the way to 0, and which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10, and any value that is greater than 10 will be 10. So how is that useful? So for example, if I have a list of numbers that's collected from sensor data, which measures outdoor solar radiation, then sometimes due to tolerance issues, your value can be negative, and sometimes it could be greater than the solar constant. In this case, because those are not reasonable in reality, so you can clamp all the values that's negative and all the values which in reality would not be possible.